I'm Lucía Esteras, he's Gonzalo Perrote, and we create this architectural office called Esteras Perrote. And our studio is based in Córdoba, Argentina.
Thank you. We are discussing the artist studio and residence you designed for Argentine painter Juan José Cambre. It is located in Los Cocos, a small mountain town in the Panisha Valley in Córdoba province, which is about 1 hour, I understand, from Córdoba. So let's start with the origins of this project and how it came your way.
The client first came with us with this idea. He wanted to develop his own atelier, as he called. The first idea and was to create an empty space where he can develop his own work, and he wanted to create a very special atmosphere inside this space that reunites the perfect lighting and also the relation with a landscape, with the surrounding landscape. So, but he already owns the lands. So first, of course we wanted to go there and to see what's there.
He moved from Buenos Aires to Córdoba. He had his older studio, so this was a big move for him. What were some of his initial objectives?
Well, he wanted in a way to slow down. I mean, Córdoba is a quieter place or province than Buenos Aires. So he wanted to slow down and also to be surrounded by nature. So his first idea was to move out from Buenos Aires to Córdoba. He already has a place in Córdoba, but it was not his atelier. So he wanted to build from scratch his atelier there in Los Cocos, and that was the main idea, his main objective, I think.
And I also wonder, I understand about his ideas and his ambitions, but what about your own ambitions? How did you see this project as what kind of opportunity?
Well, when we first went to the land and see the forest that we have there, it was amazing, an amazing experience. In Spanish, it's called El Pantanito. That is un pantano. So it is like a little valley between the forest. And I think that our first thought was that we wanted to create a relationship between the building and the landscape. It was our first idea. And I think maybe that was the first intention, and we wanted to build in this land surrounding with trees. So I think that nature guides us during all the design process in a way.
Yes. Que había algo muy importante que era esta cuestión de recorrer el terreno y poder ver, imaginar cómo se iba a ver la obra y la arquitectura a través de los árboles y como en esa secuencia como de recorridos, algo como muy importante fue como un poco meterse en ese paisaje y poder como observar que estaba cómo eso iba a emerger y convivir entre la arquitectura y el paisaje.
Well, Gonzalo is saying that first, when we went there, the land has some path between the trees, and you could walk through and get lost in a way in that forest. So he's saying that he imagined in that moment how the architecture would emerge between the nature.
If you could focus a bit more on the relationship between nature and architecture, and so what you discovered there, and how did it guide your design process, and what was the design process for you? How did you start? Did you make any direction changes? Have you made a number of schemes? If you could talk about that.
Well, first, we wanted to find an empty place in the land. We didn't want to cut any trees. This was very important for us. So first we walk all the land from point to point. And in a way, we find a place where we don't have plenty of trees, and it was a very special space because in that place you have two native trees that were called coco, as the name of the town, and algarrobo, and we decided to start the building there between the coco and the algarrobo. And about the design process, yes, we have plenty of sketches. The design process lasts about 2 years or more. It has different stages, and I think that nature intervene in all the schemes that we have. First, we wanted to not to touch the land, but after we developed this idea, we think that maybe we have to touch it to in a way. So it was changing. It changed during the process.
Sí, fue un proceso, creo, que fue creciendo a lo largo del tiempo, donde tuvimos la posibilidad de ir probando diferentes alternativas en cómo las arquitecturas y cómo las morfologías como se relacionan con el suelo y se relacionan con el paisaje, y en relación, creo, con el programa y con la forma de pintar que tenía Juan José, fuimos como armando como un espacio que conviva entre el programa y la función, pero que también pueda como acomodarse en el terreno, según las orientaciones, según las relaciones con los árboles, según las visuales. Y creo que la forma se terminó definiendo y el proceso fue tomando forma a partir de esas decisiones que tenían tanto que ver con el uso del espacio, pero también con la relación con el paisaje.
Gonzalo is saying that the form or the morphology of the building was changed during this process, not only because the relationship with the landscape, but also because how the painter paints and his artwork. So how much the walls should size, or the empty space that he needs. So in a way, the design process was over time, in a
Yes.
way.
Yes.
And could you give any examples of Juan Jose's feedback and how that influenced the design of the project?
Yes.
It's a difficult question because as it lasts 2 years, there were plenty, but we spent
Yes.
we had a great time during this process with him. I think that at the very first, in a way, he didn't know how many square meters did he need. So I'm trying to recall a phrase or something like that, but I think that the most important was when we were working with the windows that he said that we create like an artwork because we create a square and we could see nature through the window. So in a way, it was like another paint.
So he
painting.
compared your windows to his paintings.
Well, that's a lot, but
It's,
in a way,
es una posibilidad. Sí, sí.
it's a possibility. Yes.
Yes. Sí.
And so how did he influence the direction of the design?
Creo
And
que
I
como-
understand that I also understand that he didn't want to see any representational drawings of how the house would finally look like, right? So he wanted you to focus on drawing sections and elevations and plans, but not renderings, right?
Yes, that's also true. He didn't want any render at all, or maybe at the beginning. So we draw a lot,
Yes.
all in 2 dimensions, and I don't know how he influenced our work. It was like a construction between him and us and the study.
Creo que, o sea, realizar una obra o un proyecto para un artista fue como algo, creo que influenciable para ambas partes, digamos. Había como mucho de su trayectoria y mucho de su forma de trabajar y su construcción de la mirada y la forma de observar y de entender el espacio, que creo que para nosotros también fue como un insumo más de proyecto, entender esa forma de aproximarse, la forma en la que él tenía como de imaginar algo y cómo nosotros también en relación a esas conversaciones y a dibujos y a charlas, que siempre como que el proyecto también se iba construyendo a partir de influencias externas, de conversaciones, de anécdotas, y creo que también eso, bueno, volcarlo al proyecto, creo que ha sido como una influencia mutua.
Yes, I agree. He says that the design process influences both the artist, but also our work. Mainly because he has his own point of view, and in a way he understands the space in a different way because he has another baggage. So it was a very different process, a very different design process. Yes.
If you're saying that this design process was different for you, so how would you say it influenced the way you work and the way you see architecture? How did it enrich you as architects, this experience?
Well, I think that we grow with with mm, with this process because uh well we um we have to study a lot of art and proportions and what he needs. So I think that we grow together in a way with this um, project, but also because as we build it, we were there in the construction site. So a lot of decisions were taken there. So I think that we grow and our point of view change, and also it was very difficult for us to to explain an idea without rendering. In a way, you have to draw everything. Is well, for our generation, is something new. So, but it was very interesting.
Sí, sí, sí. Y creo que algo como muy importante de esa influencia, creo que este proyecto en particular llevó mucho tiempo en nuestra oficina, en el sentido de que atravesó diferentes momentos también, en la que, como vos decís, que el proyecto duró casi 2 años, más la construcción que duró otros 2 años, creo que también un poco hemos ido evolucionando también en conjunto a medida que otras cosas iban ocurriendo en la oficina y que íbamos compartiendo con otra gente. También iba sucediendo ese proyecto que se fue gestando lentamente, y eso creo que también es lo interesante también.
Yes, it took 4 years. Gonzalo says that the design process lasts 2 years, but also the construction takes another 2 years. So that's 4 years. And well, we think that maybe the projects that take place during that amount of time that we spend developing the atelier of Juan José Cambre, in a way they change also because of the influence of this project as well.
What I'm interested in learning here is also whether he brought any references, and if you wanted to share with him any references. For an artist, he, I'm sure, visited many ateliers and studios by where other famous artists worked, maybe in Europe or South America or elsewhere, and I'm sure he liked the way the sunlight was captured there by architects or artists, and I wonder if he wanted to bring any of those references to this work, and if you also on your end, if you visited something similar in you know as a building type and wanted to bring the atmosphere that you discovered somewhere else into this project.
Well,
Sí.
he brings us plenty of examples, but not all of them were architecture projects. We have movies. We have also artwork. So I don't think
Pero también hubo referencias como, por ejemplo, de Herreros Estudios, un atelier que ellos hicieron,
de estudio
Estudio Herrero, después de Herzog and de Meron, había como también algunas búsquedas. Lina Bobardi también, ¿te acordás? Un ejemplo.
with la casa de vidrio.
Sí.
Yes, we have. Yes, but those were examples that he showed us, but well, in a way, yes, it of course it influenced us when we were developing this atmosphere, but also we wanted to create this empty space. So I think that lots of references were taken from all of them, but we mixed them and create something else in a way.
Creo que es lo
And
interesante también de las referencias.
any favorite parts that you can talk about that you think are most successful in this project?
Well, we were just talking about this. We said that we have first the relationship with nature when you see the brick coming through. But I think for me, my favorite part is the balcony when you where you could watch the artwork from another perspective.
This is the mezzanine inside of
the
the
mezzanine,
main
yes.
space.
Yes, I think that in a way that could change what you see while you are walking around. So I found it very interesting. What about you?
Creo que hay algo muy particular que creo que es esta relación in between o entre que existe en muchas situaciones del espacio. Creo que la más significativa es por debajo de las luceras, el espacio del taller, como que es una cualidad espacial bastante particular por la altura y por el ingreso de luz. Y también hay distintas secuencias también como cuando el espacio logra abrirse y dejar entrar la naturaleza, con algunos trabajos de aventanamientos y creo que son mis partes favoritas.
Gonzalo says that his favorite parts are the between spaces, such as the windows in the ceiling where you could see the sky, or maybe the windows where you don't know if you are outside or inside. So when you're walking around the atelier, you find some in between spaces.
And what was his reaction when he came into this space when it was just finished?
Well, when he first started developing the first series artwork or a series artwork that were painted there, he one day he called me and says, Lucía, esto va a cambiar mi manera de pintar. Lucía, this place would change my painting. And for me, that was very important. I mean, if you could influence the artwork of an artist, building or making architecture, I don't know. He says that because of the light and also because of the amount of empty space, the paint work differently.
Sí,
The materials work differently.
y creo que también por la superficie del espacio y por la posibilidad de poder pintar diferentes secuencias en diferentes partes del espacio y tener como distancia y poder como evaluar esas combinaciones y esas relaciones.
Yes, and also because of the area, the work area that he has available, that he could start the series and watch it completely. And also because of the the size of the space, you could walk and see the artwork from different perspectives.
What would you say you learned from this experience? It took altogether 4 years to complete the project. Would you say, would you identify it as your manifesto?
Creo que, creo que sí, que es como un manifiesto y un hito en nuestra trayectoria y en nuestra carrera. Creo que sobre todas las cosas, por esta cuestión de poder, creo que siempre uno tiene como ciertos proyectos en los que le interesaría hacer y creo que el atelier para un artista es algo como muy significativo de la cuestión del trabajo del espacio. Y, y creo que hay como una relación de construir un aprendizaje continuo también en esta, de entender a un cliente y de poder como recibir esas influencias. Pero creo que también en un sentido bueno, creo que de poder crear como una obra que dialogue con un paisaje, que responde a un programa, y que creo que tiene como muchas cuestiones de trabajo de la materia, de trabajo del espacio. Creo que sin duda es como haber pasado por diferentes etapas y creo que es como un manifiesto en nuestra carrera, sin duda.
Yes, as Gonzalo is saying, we both think that this is a manifesto in our career and a landmark in our path. Not only because of it took 4 years, the whole thing, but also because it took a huge understanding about materials and form. So I think that this state of mind that you are continuing learning, it's I don't know, it changes you.
Sí, creo que también el trabajo del espacio, ¿no? Como, creo que ha sido como muy importante como la cuestión de la percepción, de las proporciones, las relaciones, como que yo creo que hay como un trabajo también, no solamente exterior, sino también un trabajo interior como que logra como con mucha fuerza y eso como cambia la forma de proyectar también.
He says that when you work with the space and you have to develop these proportions, you develop another way of understand architecture, not only for what you see on the outside, but also for what you see on the inside. And how could you manage proportions, perspectives? That in a way is what we wanted to recreate with this.
You talked about proportions and sunlight, but you didn't talk about materials. So I wonder if there was a lesson there, and what was the main strategy. I understand that in your work, at least in this project, there was this very disciplined approach. You wanted to work mainly with a single material on the inside and single material on the outside. Is this something consistent in your work, or you discovered something new? And again, was it an expansion of your typical thinking, or a refinement?
Well, I think that in our work, we always try to develop something new. So we try to build with the materials, with honest materials and what is available in each place. So when we first went there and we saw that we didn't have plenty of options, we decide our minds that we are going to work with bricks. So when we came up with this idea, then we started to investigate how much can we do with bricks. And so that's the moment when bricks became ceiling, floor, also walls. So yes, I think that in our work, working with one material or maybe the one that we decided that is the most important in each project is very important just in order to learn from this.
Sí, me hizo recordar, esta pregunta me hizo recordar una conferencia de Luis Kahn cuando aparece con un ladrillo y pregunta qué quiere ser el ladrillo a sus alumnos. Creo que, bueno, creo que hay como una, también, no sé, de repente hay como una asociación también, ¿no? Con entender el material y poder, bueno, como no es una condición ni un condicionante trabajar con un solo elemento, sino cuáles son las posibilidades que eso otorga y cuáles son las formas de, bueno.
Gonzalo is saying that this question recalls him to one interview that Louis Kahn gives, that he talked to the students and bring one brick in the hand and says what these bricks want to be. So he's talking about the possibilities that the material gives us.
Moving beyond this project, what kind of architecture are you drawn to? And what are, again, key references as far as projects, as far as particular architects? What kind of architecture informs your thinking the most?
Well, I think again we are drawn to honesty, precise. We are looking for architecture that could moves you in a way, the space. But I think that maybe honesty is what we are looking for through the materials, through the choices. I think that maybe if you ask me what architecture or which architect I like the most, I would say the city. I would say Sao Paulo. I would choose the entire city. But of course, I would say maybe the Architects University of Vilanova Artigas, but also I could speak about La Casa Butanta de Méndez da Rocha, the Butanta's house, because he developed all the furniture and all the window system. So I think that he has to study a lot just in order to build this. So I would say that example.
Es un muy buen ejemplo. A mí creo que hay una gran influencia en la forma de pensar y entender la arquitectura, que creo que el trabajo y la teoría de Rem Koolhaas es como algo que siempre me ha seducido y me ha como generado muchas preguntas. Y creo que hay algo como muy interesante en la forma como de desmembrar y como de entender la arquitectura y sobre todo esta cuestión de de entender el edificio en sí. Y hay sin duda una obra de él como el Kunsthal en Rotterdam, cuando lo visité, y como esta cuestión de la circulación, los sistemas circulatorios, de los recorridos, la estructura, como que el mismo edificio también construye ciudad y como que interfieren como muchas secuencias y muchas capas de complejidad en un proyecto. Creo que es sin duda como una gran influencia siempre. Creo que también otro ejemplo que se me ocurre que de haber visitado y como haberme como sorprendido mucho es de Renzo Piano, el Museo Pompidou,
De Richard
de
Roger.
Richard Roger. Así que, bueno, creo que...
Gonzalo is choosing the Kunsthal of Rem Koolhaas. He says that because of the circulation system, and when he went there, he find it that I don't know. You like it.
Yes, the space.
The space and also the ramps. And how do you manage to enter this place?
The structure, yes.
Yes, and also he says Pompidou of Richard Roger. I think that's because the relationship with the city.
Yes.
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 How do you bring ideas into each project?
Each time we work differently in a way because it depends it depends on the project, but also it depends on the client, on the land. So, but I think that in a way we prefer to work together. So first we develop an idea together, and then one of us keep going with that. But I don't know if attack is the word, but we fight.
Sí, creo que encontramos en el dibujo como una forma de poder como interactuar y poder como combinar ideas y como construir a partir de una secuencia de decisiones en conjunto también.
Yes, Gonzalo says that our favorite tool is drawing, and we work together from that to just in order to create something together as we are two, and also we have the people here in this study. The main tool is drawing.
Yes, maybe yes.
Yes.
When you speak about your work, you use such words and phrases as honesty, precision, essential, achieve most with the least, and keep drawing, as you just mentioned. So how would you describe your work and what kind of architecture do you try to achieve?
Creo que lo describiría como una búsqueda. Creo que hay como algo como muy importante en lo que genera la arquitectura, ¿no? En las preguntas, en los nuevos desafíos. Y creo que algo que nos seduce y nos entusiasma siempre es como no crear algo nuevo, sino por lo contrario, creo que es como esta cuestión de construir con lo construido, ya sea como de construir con la ciudad, como construir con un paisaje, como siempre una relación como que hay algo más con que dialogar, que las ideas no salen siempre vienen desde un lado, y creo que hay como una búsqueda con eso, creo, como con darle respuesta a las preguntas que se van generando y con los desafíos que se van planteando y hasta dónde esos nos hacen llegar, creo que es quizás lo que nos entusiasma
Well, what Gonzalo is saying is very important for us. He's saying that building with what already exists is what is the most important for us. In a way, we know that we are not we can't create something new because everything already everything already exists. So keep looking or keep searching or finding answers in a way is how we work. But I think that if we talk about what do we want to achieve, maybe is to create more relations between architecture and the city, between architecture and the landscape, because it's working with what we have there in the space. Yes.
Yes.
What about inventing something new? Because Gonzalo was talking about Centre Pompidou, and this, I mean, that project is so inventive in terms of so many aspects of architecture. So I'm trying to understand what do you learn from projects like that? Projects that are inventive, that completely rethink the conventions, the materiality, the circulation, the function, the relationship with the city and public space. What do you think about bringing something completely new and something unseen or untried? And how do you test those and bring those ideas into your work?
Yo creo que es extraordinario, creo que es como muy, muy necesario que eso suceda y cuando sucede yo creo que es un punto inflexivo o creo que es como un punto de partida también y creo que es necesario que suceda y no sé, es como magnífico cuando eso se da y, y me interesa también esa búsqueda, ¿no? De poder, o sea, de que surja, de que pueda surgir algo nuevo. Creo que no es una meta, pero sí creo que es necesario como perseguirla y como creo que es necesario como construir y aprender y hacer. Y creo que las cosas pueden surgir de esa manera, ¿no? Como que lo extraordinario sucede haciendo también.
He's saying that to create something like Pompidou, such as Pompidou, is something remarkable or unique in the life of an architect. He says that he really think that wanted to create something new is very important for a life of an architect. And he says that if you work with these ideas, somehow, in a way, that's going to come up. I think that he's sure that he's going to build something new or to create something remarkable.
Sí, creo que lo importante es hacer para que eso suceda, ¿no?
Yes, you have to keep going, to keep
Yes.
building, and in a way, yes, I think the same. If you keep
Probar.
drawing, keep building, keep working, somehow
Sí, como
you would come up with these unique pieces or a unique, remarkable building.
sí. Sí, la arquitectura también es manifiesto en ese sentido, como que surja algo nuevo. Creo que por eso me parece interesante. No.
And finally, what would you say gives you the greatest joy in working as an architect?
Que las ideas lleguen al suelo. Creo que esa complejidad de que las ideas, de que el pensamiento, de que las discusiones también tomen una complejidad tal para que se puedan materializar y para que puedan como dialogar con un contexto, con un paisaje.
Yes, I would say the same thing. When the ideas meets the ground, when you start building what you're thinking, I think that's the most yes, remarkable, or one of the most important moments during all the process. I think when you develop all the complexity and the plans of how the architecture is going to be built, but when you start and put the first brick on the ground, I think that for me that's the most important moment.
Mhm.
And joyful.
Yes,
Yes.
of course. Also, it give you some worries, but you could manage.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.